You can grow up here in Tauranga and have nothing to do with anything Māori. And until that changes, we live in a racist society. The damage of colonisation is irrefutable. And so until we create an honourable, committed relationship between our peoples, racism will be present. We are in Te Whetua Te Rangi Marae from Ngāti Pukenga, Iwi. My twin brother and I spent a lot of time here. In fact, we went to the Kōhangareo just outside, and then kura kaupapa, and then bilingual education at Mount College.
How did you get that surname?
Hōtere Barnes. My wife is from Ngāti Maniapoto, from Hangatiki, but also is a hōtere from Te Aupōuri. The hōtere name is her side, her integrity, her people, and the Barnes is my people, my integrity coming together. It has got quite a significance in relation to living a treaty relationship very intimately. I started to be aware that I was a bit different at about age 12 when I realised I didn't have any Pākehā friends, and started to feel quite anxious about not fitting in with Māori or Pākehā. And I started to ask my dad, why did you do this? Why did you send us to these Māori schools? And he would just comfort us and try and reassure us and say, you know, Al, you'll thank me when you're older. So that shaped my professional life and my personal life. And so I've done research into how Pākehā can work with Māori in ways that are mutually beneficial and how to be an honourable Pākehā. So it's very significant for me to be able to come back and have this conversation here. More and more non-Māori are learning te reo in schools. More and more non-Māori are enrolling in Māori language programs. But we need to be asking ourselves, why are we doing this? Because we don't often pause and ask ourselves those questions. We just think we have to do it. Another one is, when should we use tikanga and when shouldn't we use tikanga? When do we use a karakia to start a meeting or to bless food? I was in a workshop a few years ago and I said to them, okay, I'm in your house, how do you guys want to roll? And a Pākehā woman said, we should start with a karakia. And I said, oh, okay, why? And everyone went, I don't know. If we don't have those conversations about why, then we risk losing the meaning behind a karakia. I'm working with people who are really afraid to use te reo because they're worried that they're going to pronounce things incorrectly or misappropriate an understanding. And those fears are valid, actually. Some Māori say, hey, you're giving it a go, that's what matters. Some Māori say you can't pronounce something, don't do it. There's no real consensus, and it can feel like you don't fit either way. And so the end result is inaction and a fear that we're going to stuff it up. That to me is paralysis right there. This notion of Pākehā paralysis, it's something I really relate to in my own experience of being Pākehā, learning te reo, being challenged about that, becoming rigid, becoming fearful. So how can we be trusting in ourselves that when we're in relationship with Māori, it doesn't have to be a fearful relationship? And that's what I'm trying to work with others on. I'm working with Ngā Pōtiki, Hapu, with a local primary school about how they engage with their local whānau that attend the school and their local community. We saw the importation of a very strict European way of learning. We became subject to some beliefs around white supremacy and around an ideology that said, I am right and the only way to do things is through me and be like me. When I'm meeting with officials in my work, because I'm middle class, I'm able-bodied, I have blue eyes, and I'm tall, that has currency. Not only am I of the majority culture, but I speak Māori. Kei te pai hoki tērā, kei te pai. I get listened to, they don't. I've seen it happen in meetings. People defer to me. When we go out for dinner, you know, I'm with Māori friends, I'm treated first. Those are all indicators of racism. So initially I was like, Pākehā Paralysis is really bad and we need to get rid of it because it's an impediment to how we work together. But my thinking's changed a bit, and actually we can learn from that. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. The trick is to find new ways to move beyond the paralysis. I'm very reticent to say you should do this and this and this and this. There's no checklist. When it comes up for someone and they become afraid that they're going to get it wrong, or they're confused, or they're going to be tokenistic, instead of not doing anything, actually pausing and going, I'm going to get it wrong, that's part of the work. But how can I pick myself up and trust that I'm here for the right reasons? And that's where my relationships with Māori are really important. I need to listen to them, and I need to remember too why I'm doing what I'm doing and who I am. Those questions help us work through paralysis. You don't need to become an expert in te reo and tikanga Māori, but you do need to understand that there are people and stories here who've been here a lot longer than you have, and there's a wealth there. So it's that space of where do we meet in the middle? To me, that is the vision, that we move into a new space and a new way of being together. This is about everyone, Māori, Pākehā, non-Māori. We all have a role to play.